So I wanted to talk a minute to the people that watch YouTube that are in the Phoenix area. We just got done fishing Vista del Camino all the way down the whole chain in Scottsdale. There's one pond separate. Well, it's not really separate. The water does feed it, but it's right off of Indian School and Hayden. Indian School something park. I don't know remember what it's called, but it's not a stocked lake. However, it is fed by the waters from the other ones, so it still has plenty of freshness going on in it, and it's got the circulatory things in it, all the things that a fish needs to thrive. Now, one of the things that pisses me off about people that come to this pond, and I like RC, don't get me wrong, I love RC boats, cars, planes, I love it all. I spent thousands of dollars on these pieces of equipment. But there's people that come here that are just completely brainless. They bring their 8th scale boats, their nitros, their electrics, and you'll be fishing, and they'll fish. They'll go right by where you're fishing. I've had my line snapped several times by these type of people. And they're out here now. That's why I'm back in my car. They're irritating as hell. I mean, they really are fucking irritating. And they know that they do it. The guys that are out here today, 2 of them are teenagers with their father. And I was polite about it. I'm like, come on, dude. It's like, you see us fishing down here, man. What the fuck? It's not a stocked lake. It's harder to catch fish in the first place. But they don't give a shit. They say what they say and then they move on. And it's stupid. But it happens at this particular pond. It's a convenient place for people in Scottsdale. It's at a crossroads. It's very common to go past. So, whatever. I'll let shit like that slide because I'm not a vicious, vindictive person. I try not to be anyway. I used to be really bad a long time ago. But as far as the fishing here goes, I have caught many bass out of here that have been 5 to 8 pounds. They are in here. There's a lot of crabgrass on the bottom of this pond. The pond, if you follow the bike path, there's a bike path. It goes underneath one of the streets, and it's right next to a golf course. That body of water is fed by all the rest, but it's part of the golf course's chain of water as well, and they have their own circulatory system. So it's weird. It's kind of a backup water to a backup water. It's an interesting format. There's a lot of forage in that smaller pond right there by the golf course. And there's some huge fucking bass in there. There's some massive fucking carp in there. A lot of longshore weed cover. During the summertime, you can blast them on that fucking pond. On the opposite side, at the beginning of this particular park pond, where you turn into park, around the back is a community. There's a body of water there. It is a backwash from the golf course, but it's part of the community. It's not posted along where you have to get to the back of it. Along the back of the pond here, at the back of the parking lot, however, there's these chains that go along the side. You're not supposed to go back there. I've talked to a Scottsdale cop. He said, as long as nobody says something, you can fish there all you want. We're not going to bother you. So, I've been back there and gotten some big bass as well. But today, I was just skunked. Plain and simple. It's the only way you can really put it when a day goes like it has. I was at Vista del Camino at around 11 o'clock. I've been using 4 to 6 inch Zoom Super Flukes, Magnum Flukes, Reaction Innovations swim baits that I've dipped in the chartreuse in this dippet and the red garlic dippet. Interesting point of fact, anybody that's going to use that dippet, it works really well. There's an issue though. Unless it's completely white, and even then, the one that says fire red is not fire red, it's more maroon when it's on rubber plastic lures. It's not a misadvertisement, that's just how it happens to come out. The orange, though, man, if you get a watermelon or a watermelon red, oh my God, and you dip it in that orange, it is bright fire red, and it is really, truly a fire red, and the fish will kick your ass on it. I like the 8-inch Zoom Magnum Lizard on an Alabama rig with a number 5 wide gap. Sometimes I'll take a syringe and blow a little bit of air into it so it'll kind of float up a little bit. Really don't need to. I mean, it pops off the bottom pretty good when you're pulling it and jigging it. Far and above and beyond superior is an Alabama rig. So they can freely take the line, and they never even know you're at the other end of it until it's too late. And it's weedless enough to where I'll have the hook, like on a swim bait, just sitting on top of the back of the rubber when it comes through. So the hookups are great. That's the only thing I didn't use today so far. And it was just disappointing. It really was. But I wanted to talk for a minute because these Scottsdale ponds during summertime, when you find the fish, you can't keep off of them. These really are badass community ponds. Now, I am not opposed to community ponds because I don't have a boat. However, I would rather be on a main body of water. Roosevelt, Canyon, Pleasant, Saguaro, all of those, Bartlett. I'd rather be on any of those because I use a drop shot with a slip bobber for panfish, and I use small plastics or mealworms or crickets. And let me tell you, I get pounded on that thing. All I do is take a VMC spin shot in a number 8 or a 6 or 2-aught, depending on the species I'm going for. And on a main lake, the fish are big enough that it really doesn't matter too much, but all around the 6s are really good size. So I'll put my slip bobber on first, my slip knot. The slip bobber I use has a glass bead molded in the inside already, so I don't need to have a glass bead. It has a copper cap on the bottom so the plastic doesn't wear out with the line. I tie on a standard gold swivel, one of the smaller ones, and it works great. I can use a rubber bobber stop on top of that knot to keep the slip bobber from hitting the knot, but it doesn't do that because it's just wide enough to get over the knot and not hit it. Then I tie another piece of line about 10 inches after the knots are tied to the top of the spin shot, another from the bottom about 10 to 12 inches, and put 2 number 5 split shots on it. It works brilliantly. It goes down fast. It gets to where I need it to go. The stop knot I can put as deep as I want, as shallow as I want. It works great for all sorts. I can even do a drop shot method with the slip bobber on it if I go ultralight. So it's a great versatile rig. That's one of the ones I use all year long, especially for panfish. I am really super into jerkbaits. I'm retarded with jerkbaits. I do really good with them. I've got quite a plethora of them now. I'm actually going to have to get another box so I can get more. I think I've got probably, at least $300 worth of jerkbaits between the good ones and the cheaps. I've got some Savage Gears, Mega Bass Visions, Lucky Crafts. I've got a few. I haven't gotten any Spro or a couple other different types, but I've got a lot of different varieties, including some of the Bass Pros. I love jerkbaits. In fact, I took one of my Savage Gears. It's funny. The bill cracked, about halfway down. It's already only, I think, a 3 to 5 foot depth is what it goes on the 8-pound sunline I have on my ultralight. So I took my clippers and clipped it, rounded it off, and sanded it smooth. So now the lip is like this long. And if you just pull it, you don't see any motion. But man, I tell you what, when you flick it, like you do a jerkbait, it has the same swipe. But it only goes about half a foot to a foot. Perfect shallow water crank, jerkbait, whatever you want to do with it. And I've thrown it against some weed lines, and let me tell you, I've gotten some explosions that have been better than my frog explosions. It's been ridiculous. So I may take my other Savage Gear and break it on purpose to do that. Oh boy, man, do I love jerkbaits. The Magnum lizards, though, my God, I throw those things on Alabama into like pretty much any condition, and they're on in like 2 seconds. It is freaking nuts. But Scottsdale, though, these ponds, Vista del Camino, all the way down to here, you can't ignore them. Chaparral is phenomenal for solid bass. I get them all year long out there, 4, 5, 6 pounds. It's phenomenal. There goes my rod dropping on me. I like a fast bait cast, 7 to 1 or higher. I have a Chronoc 7 0 to 1. Quick change spool. It's great, light, small, fits my palm great. I have it on a Ducket Ghost. I didn't want to get the top of the line. Didn't need the top of the line. This thing is a workhorse. It's a medium heavy, fast action. I do my swim baits on it. I do my soft plastic bottom baits on it. I do my frogs on it. I do 90% of what I do, even the jerk baits on it. But it's 7 foot, and it's kind of problematic for jerk baits because you're supposed to jerk straight down. From a boat's one thing, but from the shore it's a pain in the ass. So I've got to find. It's either going to be a Dobbin or another Ducket 6.6 to 6.8 medium light, because I want to get a little bit more snap in my broad tip flex wise, because it imparts better action on jerk baits. And I may even do that in a spinning setup instead. I have a Ducket Terex medium heavy 7 foot spinning, but I have a Penn Fierce 2 2500 series on there, which has got a great 18 pound max drag, but man, it's fucking heavy spinning reel. It's the closest heaviest from Shimano is half the weight of this Penn. Now, granted, if I get the biggest bass of my life on it, I'm gonna get it in because of the drag, but it takes a lot to work it. So I'm thinking medium light, 6.6, 6.8, fast action. I might get a carbon light. I have a 6.6 light, carbon light, that I have a Fluker President special edition on. It works great for ultralight. So I might get a nice Shimano or maybe another Penn, maybe. It depends. I need to review the reels some more. The rod, though, the carbon light's got a great handle on it. The medium light is just a little bit stiffer than the light I have. Would handle the jerkbaits just fine, and it would be more than short enough and still flexible enough for me to do that down flick that the jerkbaits do so well with. Anyway, Scottsdale, fish the ponds. Hayden all the way down from McKellips. They're phenomenal when you're on the fish. They're not stocked, but there's fish that have been in there for years that have grown fucking huge. Try them out.